Hello, I'm Nate, and this is my response to what do you want in life? So I can kind of appreciate your standpoint. Let me give a little explanation of where I'm coming from. I was raised as a conservative Protestant Christian. Grew up in the Midwest, went to a small church in a small town, only about 10,000 people. And it was very much, Bible, literal, Word of God, kind of religion. I was taught to believe that the Earth was 6,000 years old. I no longer believe that. I think that it's 4.6 billion years old. And yeah, so recently I've been kind of, I don't want to say agnostic, because agnosticism implies that you believe something. What you believe is that you can't know if there's a God or not. And it's not even so much that. It's more that I'm standing on a fence right now. And on one side of the fence, I have Christianity, which is where I came from. On another side of the fence, there's atheism. On another side, there's agnosticism. On another side, there's Buddhism. There's every other religion or philosophy in the world, and I'm looking down at them, and I can no longer say for sure that, Christianity is the one true religion. That was what I was supposed to believe. That was what I was brought up in. But I've been kind of pushed up onto the edge of the fence, mostly by my own ignorance. And now that I'm in college, I'm starting to realize, there's a lot more out in the world than I realize. There's a lot more than I really know about. I'm starting to really question some of the things that I was taught to believe in. Anyways, so that's where I'm coming from. As far as what do I want out of life? What constitutes, I guess you could say, what makes the good life? What should people be striving for to make life better? And I have a quote that I was actually quite impressed with. This is by Bertrand Russell. So Bertrand Russell was a mathematician, well-known mathematician and atheist, critic of Christianity. He wrote an awful lot about Christianity, and as he saw it, religion was actually, he didn't see it in a neutral light. He actually saw religion as being harmful to people, and he thought that the sooner that we do away with religion, the better. So, interesting point of view, anyways. So this was published in a little booklet that Bertrand Russell wrote called What I Believe. It was published back in 1925, and I found it in a book that I found off of Amazon.com. It's by Bertrand Russell, and it's titled Why I Am Not a Christian. So, very provocative title there, and I thought I would read it, especially since, coming from the Christian background myself and questioning all of these things, it was an interesting read. So here's what Bertrand Russell had to say. He says is that the good life is one inspired by love and guided by knowledge. And he goes on to explain exactly what that means. So, as he sees it, love is the most important thing. So without love, we're not going to get anywhere in life. A person can have an awful lot of knowledge, but, for example, say Adolf Hitler would use that knowledge for evil. And so just because you know a lot doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be a good person. So as Bertrand Russell saw it, there are two parts of love. There's, first of all, there's delight, which means that you appreciate life. So, for example, I love dark chocolate. Okay, when I eat dark chocolate, really enjoy it. And you need that, because without it, life just gets uninteresting. You lose interest in life, and you can't suppose that you can be completely selfless and completely forget about yourself, because if you don't enjoy life, you're just not going to be a happy person. But also, you can't ignore the second part of love, which is, Bertrand Russell calls this well-wishing. Basically, it's what you might call benevolence. It's the desire to see other people happy. You want to see other people enjoy life as you do. And This is also very important, because if we want each other to be happy, we can't just be concerned about ourselves all the time. We have to be concerned about the welfare of others. And it does kind of come back to us. I mean, when I make someone else feel happy, it makes me happy to know that they're happy, if that makes sense. So that's the first thing. But the second thing he says is knowledge. And the reason knowledge is so vitally important is because without knowledge, you have no power. Knowledge is power. And without it, you can have all the love that you want, but you have no power. Back in the Middle Ages, people used to practice bloodletting as a way to cure disease. And they did it out of love. They wanted the person to be cured of the disease. But unknowingly, they may actually have been killing them off faster by drawing blood from them. And so that's why knowledge is so vitally important. If we are misguided, if we act based on the wrong knowledge, then our love doesn't have the intended effect. It can actually have a negative effect. Even if we have the best of intentions, if our knowledge is screwed up, it's not going to help. So I really think that that's probably the two most important things in life, is first and foremost love, but secondly knowledge. And what I really want out of life is I want to really appreciate life. I want to get to the end of my life and feel that I have really appreciated it. You know, I don't want to take anything for granted, because, you know, a lot of people have different ideas about what happens when we die, but the truth is we really don't know. Nobody has ever come back from death and said, look, here's what happens when you die. You know? Now, people believe that that has happened, but it's still really a mystery. There's a veil between life and death. We really do not know what happens after death. And so with that in mind, I want to make the most of the life that I have, because it's the only life that I know for sure that I get. I don't know what happens after life. I don't know if I get another chance. So I better make the best of the chance that I've got. Besides appreciating life, I also want to feel that I have helped other people to appreciate life. You know, my life can't just be completely about myself. I want to have spread some of that, and I want to believe that I've made a difference. That someone's life, even if it's just one person's life, has been better because I have lived. I don't have the solutions to world peace. I don't know how we're going to fix that, but I think a big part of it is going to be just curing our ignorance. You know, we've got these Muslim and other religions. We've got extremists of just about every religion. Christians as well. Extremists that, you know, believe in racism and believe just all sorts of things. And I think the way that you get out of that is you experience the world. You get out of your little shell, and you meet people of other races. You know, you meet people who are homosexual. You meet people who your religion has taught you to believe one way about, and you find out what they're really actually like. You expand your knowledge. And I think that most people want to do good. Most people are good, decent people. And even for those people that are not, we need to understand why. You know, I mean, if the reason a person is violent and aggressive and, say, a hardened criminal, if the reason for that is because of some sort of physical problem in their brain, then wouldn't it be good to know that and know how to fix it? And so knowledge is I think, very important. So I think that I would have to pretty much agree with Bertrand Russell. I think that the life that we should live is a life that is inspired by love and guided by knowledge.